Ellen, thank you for being with us again. If you guys didn't see the episode before this one, we did an episode on fasting. So make sure you watch that. I'd love for you to talk about as we're continuing to age, whether we're premenopause, postmenopause, menstrual cycles, non-menstrual cycles, whatever it is for a woman, the importance of nutrition, our protein, like you've drilled in protein to me, like I feel guilty if I'm not having protein in every meal. I know you guys have seen my episode and we've talked about my double mastectomy. We've talked about my race. We've talked a lot about all of that. Well, I am 3 months out from my double mastectomy and I'm working again with help in reference to weight training and hit training and running. And I'm not per se training for a race or anything. I'm just training for life. And one of the things that I found very helpful was in when she gives me all my workouts for the day, she also puts on the bottom, especially when I'm doing heavy lifting and I'm doing a hit training, she has a whole piece on my protein. So since I've been with you for a couple of years now, you've really hit home on my nutrition. And it's not so much a you caloric deficiency. It's more of, okay, here's where you are. This is the amount of protein. So I'd love for you to talk about as we're continuing to age, whether we're premenopause, postmenopause, menstrual cycles, non-menstrual cycles, whatever it is for a woman, the importance of nutrition, our protein, like you've drilled in protein to me, like I feel guilty if I'm not having protein in every meal. Like I now drink protein, just my protein with almond milk before I even go to work out, which I never did before. And then when I come home, I have to add another like 20 to 30 grams of protein in for just for my breakfast, which I do in my yogurts and my seeds and all of that. It's easier than we think it is. So nutrition, protein, the importance of that for a woman's body.
Yes, it is. And I smile every time that I feel like I'm repeating myself. I'm hitting over and over nails with my female client. But because it is still so ingrained in our cultural popular belief that to be healthy for a woman, we have to be skinny. If we want to lose fat, I gotta not eat or eat less, while it's the other way around. I've seen a video created by AI, which was very interesting, where the that trainer was showing a woman overweight, let's say 170, I don't know, kilo, and just visually as she shrink and lose weight, and then he makes her lose weight up until 50 kilo, and then she's still fat, less she's not obese as before, and then he keeps her losing weight, and then but he says, remember that image of her at 50 pounds, at 50 kilos. He makes her get to 35, like she's super skinny, like way too skinny. But now he makes her train, and then she gain weights, muscle. Muscle is the heaviest thing on us. And she goes back to 50 kilos. She is not fat, she's strong, and she looks feminine and all that stuff. So, weight on the scale is one thing. What we care about is having muscle, keep maintain our muscle as women, because as we age, we're losing muscle mass if we don't do anything. And this is for longevity. One of the key elements is your muscles. Uh, you did send me a few questions, by the way, and they're great. And I'm tempted to start with this. And what do I think one of the biggest mistake is that older women make when trying to lose weight? Uh, my simple answer is just the lack of women's health literacy. So we go with the data that is out there. And so, oh, fasting or calorie restriction, or I got to exercise more, or and a combination of that. All of this is stressing our system. So fasting, we've mentioned it in the previous episode, increase our cortisol. Calorie restriction. So maybe I'm eating through the days. I'm not fasting, but I don't eat enough. And this, I see this too much as well. um, and of course, as we age, we're we're not as insulin sensitive. Before, a few things were less resistant, and so um, we're getting fat way easier. But we don't want to restrict calorie, and we're going to dive into this today. And as well, women will say, "Oh, I gotta run more," and so they go more on cardio exercise, aerobics, swimming, biking, running for hours, thinking they're gonna lose that weight, and it just put more stress on the body than anything else. So it doesn't add up. I have vivid example from my clients. You know, I coach a lot of ultra runners, and I see it often. You know, you would think, oh, a woman that run 20 hours a week shouldn't have fat. Well, some do have around the hips and the belly, and their nutrition is not on point at all. Often I'll hear, but I'm not hungry. That's not a okay, well, suck it up. Because if you want to lose that fat, whether you're hungry or not, you have to eat.
Sorry, just to
So,
get the slogan, if
yes,
you want to lose the weight, you got to eat, right? So we're just
yes,
getting this clear.
clear.
Because
Yes,
that's
yes, yes.
the exact opposite of everything that I've ever heard in my life. So we're just being
Yeah.
clear about this.
Yes,
Okay,
this
there you
needs to
go.
be like cut. And I don't know the percentage, but many women will end up at some point in their life having some mild or more severe eating disorder. And
Hmm.
mild would be that, like just being concerned about their weight and okay, I gotta again restrict what I eat or maybe fast. This is in the mild spectrum of eating disorder. Like, and I have one client, I said, cut that film, you know, it's like the same film. And she keeps not eating enough, doing too much exercise, and having that body fat. I said, cut that script, cut it. It's not
But
working.
it's not just not eating enough. It's also eating the right thing. When I talk about the right thing, it's not like and I'm just going to pick on him because it came to my mind. It's not like driving to McDonald's and getting a big fast food thing every single day. It's about eating whole foods, like we were talking about in the
Yes.
previous episode. It is eating the proteins, and I've worked with Helen for years, and there's nothing about, she does not say to me, she's trained me for races and she's training me now for non-race. And there's never been a don't have carbs and don't eat this and don't eat that. It is more, let's get the whole foods in. Let's get the protein levels in. So carbs are good, but are they the right carbs? Right type of carbs?
Yeah.
You know, the whole foods, the fruits, the vegetables, the grains. She's got me into the grains and the oatmeals and the yogurts and like all of that. I think we think when we get to eat more, it's processed food, and that's not true.
Yes. And as I
Okay.
mentioned earlier in the other episode, we don't want to overeat. That's not what we're looking at. Eat enough compared to, oh, I had a coffee and a toast with avocado on it as breakfast. That's so not enough. Nutrition, so not enough. Yeah, nutrient. Then maybe I can, we can clarify enough nutrient as when I say eating enough food, not in the quantity, in the quality. So
See,
let's
but I
dive
think
into that.
that's the thing right there, though. I would have gone a coffee and avocado toast. Oh, I've done my job this morning. I've got avocado, I've got some whole wheat bread, and so I've done my job. Why should I question that? And I think that's one of the
Mm,
things is that unless you have a trainer like Michelle that has you, I'm going, this is what I hear around, and this seems like I'm feeding myself the way I should.
hmm Where's your protein in that breakfast?
Okay, I'll have an egg too.
That's only 6 grams of protein.
But
Do you know?
but you know what I mean? If I don't have a
Yeah,
trainer, I'm just going based on what all the stuff I'm hearing. I would have
yeah,
thought that was good. And then if you said, "Where's my protein?" I would have said, "I'll throw an egg in there," and you're already telling me that's not enough.
So,
exactly.
okay, I do have a question about that protein thing because in our last episode, you were talking about how all the data out there is male centric. And so all the formulas that you hear about in terms of, well, if this much protein for this many, for this many pounds and whatever, is that all male centric too? Like what is the formula?
Depends what were you reading on, but the answer for a women,
Uh,
as simple as so. First, as women, we want to prioritize protein. So again, that old magazine where men are eating protein, in the gym. That's like the typical image we have. That's old school data that is it's not appropriate to us. We need to eat protein and potentially more than men as we age. Yes.
That's not
Okay.
like, how is that even? How do you eat like 100 grams of protein a day? I mean, that's what you're talking about, right? 100 grams of protein.
Yes. So how
Like,
many
that's not
grams
even
of protein?
physically, humanly possible to eat 100 grams of protein. I
Yes,
would
it
die
is.
if I tried to eat that.
No.
No, you would work up to it, but you can.
Yeah.
I eat probably around, I try to go right now for 100 grams a day.
Oh my God, I just can't, like, the amount of food that represents.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it doesn't make sense. It's
Yeah.
like this doesn't
Exactly, right?
this doesn't work.
So again, so I invite you just to open your mind on a clean Canva, keeping that the elephant in the room is not pink, is blue. Most of the data we have out there is still male centric. New research has started to be done. Stacy Sims is a good source. So if you're looking for information, just Google whatever question you have with what does Stacy Sims say about it. Again, she published tons of papers on female physiology, nutrition, and exercise. And so, yes, I know it's so you'll need to hit that nail a couple of times. Um, Protein, women, general rule is 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight.
Oh God.
Okay, now just write this down
I
and
wish I weighed like 40 pounds then if that's the case, because I cannot possibly imagine what that would equate
yeah,
to on a food scale.
well, we're
Seriously,
gonna
how do you
dive
eat?
into that.
Yeah, okay, good. Tell me what 100
We're gonna
grams
dive
looks
into
like.
that definitely.
Holy
So
moly.
yeah, what it's look like. Um, so it looks like, and again, just to hit more on this one, as we age, we want to increase that. Go so. I'll take myself as a body weight example. I'm 120 pounds. That's more or less 120 gram of protein per day. Now there will be differences if I exercise more or less. Okay, but as a general rule for anybody, like, where do I put myself? 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Everybody,
Sorry, because I
all
have
my
two daughters. So you're saying even in your 20s and stuff like that, that's
yes,
regardless of where you are in like menopausal or
yeah,
like,
yeah,
okay.
but
Okay.
but yeah, and
Okay.
um, again, let's say our testosterone is lower than men level wise. I think I can't remember how much, but and so them they just eat a piece of chicken protein and they just look at a dumbbell and they grow muscle. Whereas us, we have to eat the whole chicken and, go hard with those dumbbells to maintain muscle mass. Okay. Now we don't want to like, oh, pity on us. It's harder. Let's be strong and cut the
Mhm.
crap and just, well, that's how we're designed. That's it. And so, let's say 120 grams per day, proteins need to be spread out. And anyway, again, fasting is rise cortisol. So we don't want to end up not eating at some point. We want to reduce that. But so protein, it's not like carbs where we can store some, or fat, we can store some if we eat more. Proteins is on that sitting, my body can only process, let's say, 20 to 40 grams. So I'm not gonna eat two chicken and that's it. I'm done for my day. I've got my proteins taken. So you want to spread that out. 3 to 4 meal or snack a day. So if I have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it's 40 gram for each of my meals. Or because I'm training, we also have proper nutrition around the training. That's another very important key. Timing is important, and especially around exercise. Again, if I don't eat before, I might be low energy available, and my hypothalamus says, hey, there's not enough energy to do what we're about to do. Okay, well, then I'm going to break down muscle to use for energy to do that thing I'm supposed to build muscle with. Counterproductive. So eat a little snack, 15 grams of protein before exercising. And after, of course, the window is like, clearly bring me something I want to rebuild now with Lego blocks. Feed me their protein. So 30, 40 grams of protein after training. But keep in mind, build to this. Using my mother as an example, my 83-year-old mother, where we started, she was eating 1 egg. I'm like, oh, you got to eat more. It's not the day after, okay, now we have you 6 egg omelet. Like, no, because that would be kind of the amount of eggs she would need if she wants 30 grams of protein. We didn't do that. But okay, let's try 2 eggs. Hey, I feel okay. Then let's add some, I don't know, almond butter on your toast instead of jam. Ooh, a little bit more protein. So see this, anything you're gonna want to implement, go slowly and progressively. Don't start from one day to the other to put it all in. Give yourself that time to implement that. And so, yeah, protein is key. What's it look like? High quality protein. What does that mean? That it's bioaccessible. A complete protein versus an incomplete protein. I'm gonna go in just in details, but a 30 grams of protein for a meal, it's like a chicken breast in your hand, or it's like 5, 6 eggs. Again, you're not gonna eat 5, 6 eggs, but just visually speaking, what it's like, I can have, again, my 3 eggs omelette with some quinoa, high in protein, with some cheese on it. So you end up having easily 30 grams of protein. Of course, anything that it's from animal world, uh, in proportion, it's easier to get 30 to 40 grams. A steak is like, I can use, ribeye or whatever. I have 55 grams of protein in there. So I'm overboard. I have more than I need. And by the way, we cannot uh, have an overdose of protein. So, in case of doubt, eat more. Whatever, if you eat more protein than you actually need, your body will use the extra to create energy. That's it. It's not going to go into fat storage or anything elsewhere. So eat protein limitless.
But see,
That's
this is the part that my open blank canvas gets a little confused. You can eat more protein, but you're still like what you just said, a ribeye steak and that you're eating a lot all day long.
I couldn't do it. I literally
yeah,
could not do it.
Like I understand what you're saying and why it
yeah.
makes sense, but I'm literally eating 2 eggs here, and then I'm eating this, and then I'm eating this, and then I'm eating this. And after
Go
3 days,
slowly.
I'm going to be freaking out because I'm going to say, "What a pig you are, Tracy! Like this is all you do is eat all day long. Give me that steak, come on!" Like I
Say
don't
nothing of the grocery bill.
know.
Well, I
See,
invite you to see
even
that.
something as simple as the butter. I don't use butter on anything I have. So now you're telling me to introduce almond butter into my diet. I'm like, what?
uh, Butter made of cow milk is an unhealthy fat.
Mhm,
Right. So that's why
Almond butter is very healthy. You want that
mhm,
healthy fat and protein.
mhm,
it
mhm.
hurt.
I know, seriously, eh?
If I may use you, Michelle, as an example, I
Go
recall,
ahead.
our conversations in the beginning.
Yep.
And I said, "Oh, okay, you train in the morning, you got to eat something before." And she's like, "I'm not hungry. I'm going to throw up if I eat before." Okay, thank you for sharing. Get over it. Sorry, but my point is, so without going for that 30 grams of protein, I said, just try half a banana, scoop with some almond butter. So you get that little carb and that little protein. Just start to get used to it. And then, oh, that was not bad. I didn't die. I didn't feel bloated. I didn't throw up. Okay. And days after day, I remember, like, you recall, oh, my daughter-in-law has overnight oat, and you're like, I can't do that. I'm gonna throw out. And then here you are today eating overnight oats. So you tried it at some point
Yeah.
a little bit. Just
Yeah.
you make it, have 2, 3 spoon, put it back in
Yeah.
the fridge.
And that's a perfect example. There were times where one overnight oats lasted me 4 days, just the one container, because I could only get 3 to 4 scoops in. And I'm like, nope, I'm going to be sick. I'm not doing anymore. And I would go do whatever I had to. Now I have, I think it's 16 to 20 grams of protein before I even walk out the door
Oh
to
my
go
God.
do my workout. And then when I come back home, I usually have my Greek yogurt with a little bit more protein powder in it, my chia seeds, my flax seeds, blueberries, and some form of granola. And I squash that down. So I've hit like 40 something grams, maybe even 50 beforehand. And here's the thing, it keeps me full. I'm looking at the clock. It keeps me full. And I have that around 7, 7:30. And by 11:30, 12, I start all over again with the protein.
I'm like you only got 20 minutes before you got to eat another 30 grams of protein for God's sakes. Like you don't have 3 or 4 hours, woman. Like you gotta hit that thing right away.
Well, again,
That,
taking me as an example, that
yeah.
120 gram, and I'm gonna eat more because I'm training. Whenever I'm training harder, I need,
Hmm.
or a 3 hour long run, I definitely need more. Um, but 30 grams in my breakfast. Let's say this morning I have that oatmeal.
Hmm.
Um, so there's oat, there's seeds, there are berries in there, a scoop of peanut butter. I love peanut butter. Some protein powder, um, and that's my oatmeal. It's doable. I used
Okay,
to be
so
as
that
well. I used to be the one just drinking a coffee, running 6 miles to the gym, training to the gym, walking back home. I used to do that. And
oh,
funny enough, and I'm like, people says, "Wow, and I was doing podium in my races, and someone I remember told me, "Well, imagine if you would be eating, I would actually be, uh, first on every podium." I said, "Whew, I didn't know that." But as well, just muscle wise, I would lift and lift and lift. I would do CrossFit on a daily basis. I would run to the gym. That was a CrossFit class, and walk back home with my grocery on my backpack. So, I was constantly training back when I was living in the US. And, but, you would look at me, I don't gain any muscle. And all that training, where does it go? Kind of nowhere because I was not eating. Slowly, I increased. Even myself, being swimming in nutrition and fitness books since I'm 18 years old. Even I got stuck with conditioning, social conditioning. Yeah, I can't eat that much. I'm going to gain weight or this or that. So, a few things here. Keep keep taking it in, keeping in mind social conditioning is still very strong. That if you eat, you're gonna gain weight. Well, no, eat properly. Um, Again, for your muscle, for your bone, for your cognitive health, you want protein. Other just to wrap up what looks like 30 grams of protein. Again, scrambled eggs with quinoa in it, or rice in it, brown rice, a Greek yogurt. Just a 3/4 cup of Greek yogurt is 17 grams of protein. So
Hmm.
that's my morning oatmeal. I put that Greek yogurt, my nuts and seeds, some extra protein powder, and I'm 35 and ready to go. Soy, tofu, tempeh, edamame is high in protein. Again, lean meat, poultry is high in protein, fish, seafood. So you can find a lot. If you're vegan, it is doable, a little bit more challenging. Now we can be a little bit conscious of, whoa, I don't want to eat 2 cups of almond. That's a lot. Or 2 cups of black beans, and that's a lot. So for that, it could be a little bit more challenging quantity wise. Whereas, all right, I got my chicken, I'm good. Um, so protein is your number one priority as a woman, and as you age even more.
Yeah.
My husband is taller, bigger than me, and I eat more than him. I have to. Well, I have to. And even I get sometimes he goes without, he skipped breakfast, he's late at work, and I get my little like, oh man, that's unfair. He can just go and he's not gonna gain weight. Whereas if we do that, we're gonna start
Yeah.
uh, fat storing. So eating a little bit. I know it's so kind of counterintuitive. Well, if I eat something, I'm gonna be bigger. You're giving what your body needs for your brain, your muscle, your bone. Think about that.
Can you also talk a second about, we talked a lot about protein, but another thing that you helped me also understand is that complex carbs.
Yes. Right.
That,
That might
you
Before you go, before
know,
you, I just want to finish with the protein then, because mine
okay,
are specific protein. One, so you're saying protein powder is fine.
whey protein powder.
Sorry?
So whey,
whey.
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 Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Whey protein
That's
powder. Also, so this satisfies the hunger?
not
Maybe, maybe
necessarily.
not.
I don't know.
Okay.
Eating it, eating in itself would satisfy hunger.
And this stops
Yes,
the crashes in the afternoon.
I'm sorry?
It stops those dips in the afternoon where you just go, oh yeah, maybe.
Yes, yes, for sure. Well, any
Mm,
protein, any protein. Whey protein powder is kind of one option to help us again get all those protein
right.
requirement we need. So again, in my breakfast, instead of having 2 cups of oat, for just a little bit, and so I can have that extra 50 grams of whey protein.
Mm,
It's one of the most bio accessible, compared to other types of protein powder. Now, if you're vegan, you'll have to go with not whey, but
Pea
that's one.
protein.
Again,
Mhm.
go for a good source, grass-fed, organic. That's what you want. And just like as we mentioned, it's still a processed food, so you don't start eating that all the time. It's just the health here and there. So I do have some in my breakfast, and when I train, because my window is either before my training and my breakfast is far. Let's say I'm going to train at noon. Well, if I have my breakfast at 8 in the morning, that's just too far. So I want that little snack, 15 grams with my banana in my shake. That's an easy way. But I could have take some Greek yogurt with some, again, bananas in there because you want not just protein, you want a combination. And or after, knowing that our window is way shorter to eat after our training to stop that muscle breakdown.
Mhm.
That's why you want to eat close to.
Mhm.
If like, oh, I'm rush, shower, drive, and go to whatever meeting you have, you keep breaking down muscle. This so it's so like that training is lost, was not useful at all.
Wow.
Yes.
What, okay, wait. You said earlier, which broke my brain, something about a protein and like not a protein or a good full protein versus
Oh
partial
yes,
protein or something. What was that
yeah,
about?
yeah. High quality protein in the sense a complete, yeah, thank you for bringing me back to this. So complete versus incomplete protein.
Right.
A complete protein is one that has all the 9 essential amino acid. Like we're made of protein. We build our own protein. How we do that? With amino acids. It's like mini Lego blocks to make bigger Lego blocks. Now, some of the amino acid, we produce it. Just like, we don't need to eat estrogen, we're producing it. That's a hormone, and so whenever you hear essential fatty acid, essential amino acid, those are things that we don't produce. We need to get it from our food. And so a complete protein is made of those 9 essential amino acids. All the animal product, meat, dairy, poultry, seafood, fishes, have those 9 essential amino
Okay.
acids. If you're vegan, uh, you need to combine things.
Mhm.
Yes, black beans with rice, quinoa with this. What some of the rare complete protein in the vegan world is quinoa. Quinoa, that's a go-to. That's a base. Like I'm very, some people think I'm vegan, some people think I'm carnivore, but it's so funny, depending what they
You're not vegan.
what have they heard, but no, so I eat meat, but not every day. Because for ethical reason, for environmental reason, I like I like to eat more plant-based, and also for all the nutritious aspect of the plant, the greens, the colorful. We'll get to that. You want a colorful plate because the big blocks is protein, carbs, and fat. Those are the macronutrient. We also want the micronutrient, the vitamins, the minerals. Those are tiny, small. Those are in the plants a lot. I mean, a lot. So, and in an easy way is just vary and colorful. An even more easy way, if you would like, Helen, just give me one line so I can remember everything. The Mediterranean diet will answer all the needs. They eat fresh, and it's called a diet, but it's not a diet like as a temporary way of eating. It's been a lifestyle diet. I would prefer a lifestyle way of eating. They eat lots of fish, omega-3 fatty acid. You want that, or brain needs that. Varied, so fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, varied, colorful, no pesticide. Well, not that much because again they cook fresh there, and colorful. Anyway, again, one word you want to remember. Go for Mediterranean lifestyle.
Okay.
Okay. So protein. Yes, we define complete versus incomplete. I can't send you, by the way. Maybe you can share that to your followers. Just ideas of meal that have 30 to 40 grams of protein. So you know what it looks like. But again,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I, and often what I do with clients, I start with what do you currently eat? So let's say, Tracy, you
Mhm.
said in the morning I have my coffee and my whole wheat, whole grain toast with avocado. Let's start from that. You have healthy whole food carbs. You have healthy fats. Now we need to add protein. So let's start with one egg. Put one egg on this. And then slowly we will just improve that one. And then, oh, okay, now what else could I eat? I've been eating my my toast for 2 in the morning now. I want to have more options. So we can build different options. And then you just have that inventory of options of food you already like. And we just tweak them. So protein is your priority. Again, change the script. Protein, 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 protein. Not only that, we now want smart carb, complex carb. So again, our brain needs more glucose, run more glucose than men. So definitely we want carbs for energy, for so many things. Carbs are not the bad guys at all. Whole, whole complex carb, quinoa, brown rice, whole wheat. What would be a bad carb is like a very bad carb, as we know, is sugar, sweets, cookies, processed food. So think processed food. In between, white rice, not ideal. It will spike more your blood sugar.
Mhm.
And so as we age, we can be less sensitive to insulin. So we want to even more have whole food, whole grain carbs. Now the list can be long, but again, that would be another an hour conversation to go through all of this. Um,
But you also can just like Google complex carbs and
yes,
it'll give you a list also of
exactly.
that, which I've I've done also. You can Google different things and
Yes.
specifically ask for a list of complex carbs. Ask for a list of, protein. How can I get 30 grams of proteins? And you will see things start to fill in. And just, so that's what I find helps me also if I want
Yeah.
change of pace.
Yeah. By the way, myself, I don't like counting protein carding, carbs carding, whatever, calories. I never count calories in my life, except when I had to eat enough in ultra endurance races when I have to eat
Mhm.
10,000 calories a day. That's now that Tracy, that's a lot of food to eat. That was challenging. Just, I can't eat that, I would die. That was hard. They force fed me at some point, like, I can't eat anymore. So that 10,000 calorie diet, yes. But
Yeah.
2,000
And
calorie,
and I
fine.
I like the way she's saying they force fed her. When I
It
was
is
doing
true.
my race and she was coaching me, I would open my mouth to talk to somebody and she was literally shoving food and protein. She was finding the chicken pieces and the bone broth and shoving that piece of what I was eating in my mouth. Like I was in the middle of a sentence and she walked over to me and just put it in my mouth because it was
Yeah.
open.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
It's not in our, we're not
Yeah.
used to eat that much. So it's not a reflex. Like, but
No.
eating whatever amount is, let's say 2,000 calories,
Yep.
just for the sake of it here. I probably ate way too, again, counting calories is again old school data, and male can use that more. For us, it's more complex. It's not just calorie, because again, we could eat McDonald's. That's a lot of calorie, empty nutrient.
Yep.
So it's not just what we put in and what we goes out. That's a two basic old school formula. Did that one.
What's your take on creatine? I see a lot of articles coming out about
Yeah.
creatine and especially menopausal women should be taking it. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Do you think it's a trend or is it real?
I mean, you know what? Like, who knows at this point, right? Are they just gathering data and going, "Hey, this actually should be good for you guys. Like, you should be trying it out," or is it just a trend? I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a good question to ask. And again, we uh it testing our critical thinking. Yeah, is this a trend? Is this real? So let's dive into that. And I quick answer is it's good.
Okay.
For women.
I
Um
started adding it into my routine.
Even if
Excellent.
you're not like a huge workout person or
Yep,
like a
it
zero
has.
workout person.
Yep. So again, old uh, belief, or maybe before I've learned about creatine, I was too like, oh, creatine, oh, this is the thing for bodybuilder in the gym. And
Yeah.
I don't know, this is terrible, this is bad. Don't take those chemicals, I was right in there. And then I heard from Stacy Sims and other
Hmm.
like that, like, oh, it might be actually good. So, okay, what is creatine? Creatine. Uh, it is a compound that naturally occurs in our body, uh, made from amino acids. Some that we create, some that we can't take it from our food. For our conversation here, it helps. Um, well, it's found in the muscle as well as in the brain and other tissue, and it supports cellular energy and cognitive function. So even if you're zero training for your brain, you want creatine. Of course, if you're training a little or a lot, it is a rapid energy source for replenishing the ATP, the adenosine triphosphate, especially during high intensity effort. This is just like how we create energy in our body. Now, why it matters for women to maybe take some creatine is that we're naturally producing about 20 to 30% less creatine than men. No, sorry, we're storing, yes. Sorry, our baseline is just lower than men. And our hormonal fluctuation, including or especially during perimenopause and menopause, we reduce the synthesis of creatine and the storage efficiency. Kind of like a collagen. We could have the same conversation about collagen. We create collagen is a protein that we create. At some point, we start reducing our production naturally. So it could be interesting to supplement with that. And so for women, still, it support muscle strength. Even if you're not training, whatever strength you have, you want to keep it. You know, and again, you want to be able to get up your chair, or if you're on the ground, you want to be able to stand up. Those are like basic tests we end up doing, but you don't want to start doing those tests when you're 83 and like, whoa, maybe I should have done something about that. So it supports lean mass and again, neurological function, and which are key during aging and hormonal transitions such as menopause. So the key benefit for women of creatine, it increases muscle mass and strength. We're not talking here about being big and bulky. Okay, again, it's so hard for us to maintain muscle mass. Let's help ourselves. It enhances brain function and mood support, a few things like that. And again, for us, we're much more sensitive to that with those hormonal changes. You know, we're much more moody. It improved, though, our high performance intensity if we're working out. So wherever we are, young and old, and recovery. So again, even my younger clients, female clients, to recover faster, better. Let's get that little bit of extra creatine. It does as well support bone health. We know that bone density also drop drastically if we don't do anything. So resistance training help combined with nutrition, protein, and just to name a few things. I'm gonna hit that nail again. And so so creatine can also, you know, help that big master plan of keeping our bone strong and dense. So all women of any age can take, should consider have this addition of creatine. So let's ditch those myths of, oh, those are steroids. It's not steroid. It's naturally a compound found in our body, created in our body, and as well found in red meat and fish, for example. So again, if you're vegan, you can have, you maybe even want to look for a supplement in creatine.
Sorry.
Is there, is there a, like, just buy it and follow the instructions on the pack? Okay.
Yeah. Well, which one do you buy?
Yeah.
So you want something that is, I have mine close by. Where is it? So you want to look for creatine monohydrate. Just gonna, you know, this is the name.
Creatine monohydrate. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Because you could find maybe other type of things out there,
And
but
how do you take it? Do you just, like, is it a pill or is it a powder? Is it a
it's powder.
Powder.
And so so for a woman on a daily basis, 3 to 5 grams. Like I just finished my jar today. I'm waiting for some more, but that 5 gram, it's this. Like it's like a little sugar cube.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Yeah.
small.
Okay.
And doesn't have to be, you know, with food or without food at a certain time, just a daily, consistently,
Okay.
3 to 5 grams. That's it. guys, bodybuilders will do like that. Um, they take a lot more and like, I'm looking for a word. Um, um, uh, I can't remember the word. They do a lot more. Anyway, they take more for that. I'm taking creatine. Do I look like big, heavy, bulky? No, but only 5 grams a day.
Okay.
So
Yep.
I think
short
Tracy's
answer,
going
yes.
shopping.
Yep.
But so yeah, so look for creatine monohydrate
Hydrate. Yep.
Amazon.
and um yes, anything else, a mix of something like added with whatever, a blend, no. In liquid form, no. So monohydrate, creatine monohydrate.
Okay.
And one, it just happened because I was looking in Canada, a good source as well. And I don't know if you can see that little logo down there.
No.
Creapure.
Creapure. Yep.
Okay. That's a brand. Like it's super, there might be some others, but it's a brand, high pure creatine monohydrate. So just exceptional pure form. It
Okay.
has been third party test. It's just like it's a good legit one. So you can look for that.
Okay.
It can be sold because again, I cut my paper, but this is CanadianProtein.com that I'm getting this. So that's the brand. But they are, where do they get their creatine?
Right.
From that German company. There
All
might be other.
right.
As long as the monohydrate, you're good.
All right.
Yep.
Good, but good question. Again, things will pop up, and this is the good news as research has been made more now on women, and so 3 to 5 grams of daily creatine monohydrate is good for women,
Awesome.
basically.
A
Well,
lot of
Helen,
information. I
I
gotta go
know.
read. What's her name? Stacy. And find out where
Stacy
I'm
Oh,
at.
Sims.
I'll show you
Yeah.
her book in a minute. Um, but Helen, thank you so much. And I know we have tons more we want to ask, but in the effort of time, I think we'll put together those questions and have you back for another time. Because I know we have more on this. And so also to you, viewer, if you have questions, again, put them down here in the comments. We again will have Helen's contact information if you want to ask anything to her directly. And share this with somebody who you think would benefit from hearing this episode. Make sure you hit that like button, share it, subscribe, and hit that notification. And Helen, thank you so much for,
Thank you.
again, the wealth of knowledge that you've given us. And we can't wait to have you back again.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to feed that conversation that needs to be fed.
Well, we love it. And again, thank you.
Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you as a regular member of our community.